So are you growing in grow bags that are collapsing all over? Because as the soil goes down, your grow bag goes with it. Today I'm going to show you for pennies how to fix it permanently. And you know what? You can even use it in the grocery bags if you're growing in that, because I know a lot of you are. So let's get right into how we can fix this for pennies and do a whole lot of things. And I think you will be amazed how this works. So I fixed my other grow bag that's growing a pepper, and see how it's collapsing? Forever, it keeps falling in on itself. I lift it up, it falls in, especially when I'm watering or whatever. So this is a pepper from last year, and we're going to fix that so there is no more collapsing, and it will stay there for years unless I freshen up the bag, but I can always put it back. And all you're going to need is some irrigation tubing, and you can get that in 50 feet for like $9, 100 feet for $15, or you can get a 500-foot roll for under $50. You buy the size that you need, and you will only need a scissors. So this is how we're going to fix grow bags or your grocery bags that are collapsing as your plant is growing. You know how I love my 1/2-inch poly irrigation tubing. You can get it anywhere. It's so cheap. You can get it in 50-foot rolls, 100-foot rolls, or 500 for like $35 to $50. But you may not need that much. So I'm going to take the tubing here, 1/2-inch irrigation tubing, and I'm going to cut it to the size I need. If you go a little too short, it's still going to work perfect. This is a very forgiving project. Now, if you can't cut it, some of them are a little thicker than others. Rainbird's a little thinner. Dig is a little thicker. You know, you can bend it, and once you bend it a little bit where you want to cut it, it cuts right through. Put it out in the sun, and you can cut any of them, 1, 2, 3. See how it fits nice? This bag, though, is collapsing in so many areas. I'll never get a perfect circumference on the bag because this is last year's pepper, but it doesn't matter. It won't fall in on the plant anymore. Now we cut that piece, about 4 inches long, and you cut it up the middle now. This is going to be the insert that's going to go inside to make the circle, the hoop. And you can turn it around, cut the other end. Again, put it in the sun and it will cut so easy. That's it. Now what you're going to want to do is make sure you roll it because it's now a split tube. So as you're rolling it, because you're going to roll it smaller, so it's going to insert through the 1/2-inch irrigation tubing, just roll it as tight as you can and work with it. Now, if you notice that your tubing might have collapsed just a little bit when you cut it, I use my scissors. I just stick it in there and kind of twist it, and it makes the circle come back. 1, 2, 3. See how easy it is? You're going to need nothing but a scissors for this project. Now, you roll the tubing really tight, as tight as you can, and then you put it in about halfway. This is so easy, and it works so perfect. This will last you for years. So if this grow bag falls apart, you just take the tubing out, put it in another one later. And then you turn it around after you get it on one side, and you make sure it's real tight, the tubing, and you put it on the other side. You may have to work with it for a moment. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. The warmer the day, the easier it is, but it works so good. So here I'm just trying to make sure it's nice and tight. You want it snug, so this is going to work really good. And look at that. Now you push it in, and you've got a perfect circle. Now this bag may not be perfect because the soil has already shifted the bag, but it's still going to work, and it's not going to fall in on itself. Isn't that perfect? I have more up my sleeve. We're going to go show you how I did the other pepper, and it's even cheaper yet. Here's another way that you can easily keep your grow bags from collapsing. Or if you're growing in plastic bags, some of you are using grocery bags. This is 1/4-inch tubing. Now all I'm doing here is lining it up to get an idea of where to cut it. That's all. If you cut it too long, just shorten it. And you know what? If you cut it too short, it doesn't matter. You'll see why. Now I've got the circumference exactly the way I want it. See? I'm just double checking to see if this is the size I want. And it looks pretty good. This looks right to me. Thumbs up on that. Now, this is a skewer. You can get these at the dollar store, 99-cent stores. You get a big package for $1. They are so cheap. I'm using them for all kinds of stuff. You'll see as we go on in the gardening. It fits inside the 1/4-inch irrigation tubing. So you put about half of it. And this is a little too long. You can go shorter, but that's okay. Like I said, this project is very forgiving on size. It works. You slide it in, half on one side, half on the other, and now you've got a 1/4-inch tubing, irrigation tubing, perfect circumference to hold your grow bag up. And you can also stick in the skewers to hold it in place if you needed to. Works really good for plant tags too. So here's two methods that I use the skewers for. If you have an existing tag from the nursery, you can just tape the tag on with painter's tape. I like the green one. It lasts like for a year or 2 years in the garden. Just tape it on. This way you have it not in the soil where you're going to water and it's going to disappear and you can't remember what it is, but it's going to be sticking up where you can see it and remember what you planted. Another way to do it, if you've got multiple plants that you want to put out, just take a skewer, use some of the green painter's tape, and then write what your plant is. And it works fantastic. So I hope I've given you some ideas on how you can fix your collapsing grow bags, be it a regular grow bag or a grocery bag, to get it to stay in a nice circular fashion so your plant can grow comfortably. And you can do it in minutes as you're walking through the garden. Just sit down, cut it, do it, and it is done. And it will last for years. With that, have a wonderful day. And don't forget to eat what you grow. Remember, there's a lot of different methods to do this I showed you here. Bye-bye.